Really quick before we get into the fantasy schnoz, this video is brought to you by me and the two ongoing charity projects here on the channel. First is the definitive deluxe editions of The Lawful Times are available on Kickstarter right now, and all of my proceeds from that will be going to charity. And the other one is a collaborative project between me and some authors and content creators for actually a local charity for homeless children here in Boston. So if you'd like to check that out, I will have it popping up in the card thing at the end of this video and in the description down below. But now, let's get to the schnoz. Welcome everybody to another episode of Fantasy News. I am here to Shovel Goblin host Daniel Green, and today we need to kick it off with the one piece of fantasy news this week, and fortunately it's already had a nice resolution. But as we know here, the Hunt for Gollum movie was announced. That is going to be directed by Andy Serkis with Peter Jackson attached to produce, and in the wake of that, the fan film that's already been available on YouTube for over 15 years, The Hunt for Gollum, happened to be copyright struck and taken down. To be fair, this was rather rapidly resolved, and it is now up and available again. That's fine, and I'm happy that this had a decent resolution. But I gotta ask, if we are going to be in this corporate age of Hollywood where everything is done for these calculated money reasons for every franchise, can we at least be competent at it? This is not a coincidence it happened right now. This is a manual strike. I'm a YouTuber. I know what these look like. I've gotten them. And while you're putting together the big announcement, no one brought up, hey, there's a popular fan film that's gotten over 10 million views we should probably address. Do we want to do something about that?
This is me being your friend and telling you should probably not.
I want to make it clear, I understand there's a need to protect your IP and establish a pattern of, yeah, we aren't letting people do stuff like this. But at the same time, you are also well aware that you're in a delicate position announcing a new movie based off a very small part of a book that people do not like to see stretched out and abused. And the first thing to follow up your big announcement is you taking a swing at a smaller creator who made a passion project. It fouls the air, and anyone with just the slightest bit of competence should know this is not the move for your wallet and purse. This is a community full of nerds who are known for being chronically upset about stuff and can act like it's their full-time job to get other people upset too, justifiably or not. Don't hand them another bullet. Just glad it was resolved well. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story and ask Hollywood, if you're going to be corporate, can you at least be good at it? I would like to wash my palate of that negative Lord of the Rings news with some positive Lord of the Rings news. And by that I mean more just something that's gonna get me excited no matter how nerdy it is. And that is the fact that we are gonna be getting a Lego set dropping before too long for Sauron's iconic tower. Unfortunately, and I tried to dig into this, not too much is known about how many pieces this will be or the cost. I assume a lot. It was more just a teaser confirming something that's kind of been known due to some things that you can find if you really dig into Lego's online activity. I passed on the Rivendell set because that's just not my style of preferred set. This tower though, I will accept one mobile game sponsor this quarter just so I can pay for it. If you don't know, mobile game sponsors typically pay significantly more than other YouTube sponsors, at least in my experience, because very few people want to take them. Which there's a conversation to be had around you all know when someone takes a Raid Shadow Legends ad spot, they're not playing that game, right? The YouTuber's not taking a ton of time out of their day to do that. And that's part of the reason why I don't take a lot of mobile game sponsors, because I don't play mobile game. Anyway, what I'm trying to just say is I might do one, and if you see that, no, it's because I'm selling my soul for a Lego set. And in the final piece of Lord of the Rings news this week, we had it leaked, actually, that we are going to be getting a new Lord of the Rings Deluxe Edition, yes, already, and instead of being red, this one is blue. This 3-volume deluxe slipcase hardback set of Lord of the Rings is going to have illustrations by, of course, Alan Lee, the artist who's been connected to the franchise for as long as I can literally remember. There will be new paintings and pencil drawings that will be appearing for the very first time, and currently there is a publication date of October of this year. And as for the price, that is going to be about £219, so these are in that upper echelon of deluxe set, and I'll have on screen what that translates to dollars because I forgot to do that before I sat down to record. We're professionals here. Oh, $290. They had it on the website. Save. And as for my gut instinct of which do I prefer to represent Lord of the Rings on my shelf, red or blue? If I'm trying to like match the vibe of the series, for some reason blue, but if I'm trying to like have a standout set of Lord of the Rings on my shelf, for some reason red. Can I justify that? Not at all. This is going to take us though into a story I'm going to try and cover the best I can, but this is not a franchise I'm familiar with. I just know there are a lot of fans of it in my audience, I think. As I'm sure most of you are aware, Rooster Teeth is shutting down, but there seems to be some red versus blue content still on the horizon. Full disclosure, never seen a single episode. I think this is a series that's been going on. I think it's one of the longest running online series of all time, and it's like screen recorded, dubbed over, Halo 1 multiplayer, pretending to have storylines. Am I even like remotely right? Regardless of my knowledge on this franchise, the fans should be happy to hear that they are still going to be getting one last feature-length red versus blue film, and it is going to be released May 7th. It'll be available to purchase online May 7th and then available for rent 2 weeks later. In some fun quickie news though, it seems that Sigourney Weaver is finally going to make her Star Wars live-action debut by joining to star in The Mandalorian and Grogu, the upcoming movie focusing on probably the most successful new Star Wars characters of the last 10 years commercially. And by that I just mean Grogu. Like, the amount of merch this motherfucker has moved is gotta be astronomical. And then we also had it announced that there is a planned 9-film saga of Planet of the Apes movies that includes the 4 we've already had released in this new batch, and that yes, they have 5 more to go. This was a statement given in an interview with the director and producer of the films. I have no problem with this. I've actually had quite a bit of fun with the Planet of the Apes movies. They're kind of like the highest budget schlock in existence, and in terms of like a tech demo, they still are so visually striking in terms of Andy Serkis' performance and how real they make these apes look, that as long as that continues to be a thing, I'll probably still throw one on if it's available for streaming up until the last one. Because a monkey holding a gun riding a horse is pretty cool. Sometimes the answer can be simple as that. But in something kind of special, and the reason you're getting this fantasy news on a Monday instead of a Tuesday, this next story, I'm happy to say, is going to be covered by my brother, returning to the channel for the first time in 2 years, Thomas Green.
All right, I'm gonna be like, can I like jokingly, can I be like intentionally bad?
Do whatever you want. Literally whatever makes you comfortable.
Okay, so Grendel, which is a character in Beowulf, yes. Right?
Yeah.
Grendel's the bad guy. What's going on? I am Daniel's brother Thomas, and this is YouTube. Jeff Bridges, Dave Bautista, and Bryan Cranston are starring in a live-action movie, and it's going to be called Grendel. It's based off of that character in Beowulf that I've seen and I like. Jeff Bridges is going to play the role of Grendel. He rounded out the cast. Dave Bautista will play Beowulf. That makes sense. And Bryan Cranston is going to be King Hrothgar. T-Bone Burnett is going to do the music, and he only does really good music.
What's your favorite T-Bone Burnett?
The introduction to the first season of True Detective would be my favorite T-Bone Burnett song.
I thought I was calling you out for not knowing your shit, and you just...
I've seen the first season of True Detective all the way through 6 times. That's my favorite show. That's your fun fact about Thomas. Grendel is going to be produced by Brian Henson and Vince Raisa. Definitely not pronouncing that right. Executive producers, Bridges, John Sayles, Berkmo, Joe... God, this is just... I should not be saying any of these people's names. Grendel represents everything I love about the movies. We're just going to cut that out. That's just a quote. Nope, don't. So anyways, I love Beowulf. I liked the last movie, and I don't remember who starred in it, but it was animated. Angelina Jolie was in it. That was cool. And this one's going to be all about Grendel. Later, nerds.
You've done an incredible job.
And in a last-minute fantasy news update, I'm thrilled to say that Fonda Lee has just announced that she will be releasing a book January of next year that she co-wrote with Shannon Lee, with cover art by Crusader Weasley. And if you're wondering, yes, Shannon Lee is the daughter of Bruce Lee, meaning Fonda Lee wrote a book with his daughter inspired about him, which is just so cool. So be sure to add this one onto your TBR radar. And we have also seen that Scavengers Reign is going to be moving over to Netflix after its season 2 was canceled at Max. This does not mean that season 2 is greenlit and just that some rights are changing hands, though I really hope to see more from Scavenger's Reign. It's one of my favorite shows I've watched for science fiction of recent memory. I can't say favorite though because of Three Body Problem. That one is the best, and I'm going to be trying to get you a review of Three Body Problem later this week. That's right, Daniel, keep baiting them in. Like and subscribe. And in the final bit of quickie news, I know a bunch of you are still trying to get your hands on hardbacks for Sun Eater. They've apparently just been put back in stock. So those of you who have been waiting because you don't like e-readers and audiobooks, but you require collecting hardbacks because my audience is full of snobby little goblins, they are available now wherever you buy your books. But this takes us into needing to get our art fix, and oh, we are getting fed today because once again, happy to shout him out, Patrick Leo has announced another end sheet for a Malazan book, Gardens of the Moon, The City of Blue Fire. Art by @JeffBrown67. Callum and Quick Ben preparing for something. If you know, you know. This does take me to having to correct something from last week. I called that Gardens of the Moon art with Animander Rake the book's cover. That is not correct. It was another just interior art illustration, and I take that L. That is just me. They can't even use dyslexia as an excuse. That's nothing there in terms of being able to have a justification aside from going, whoopsie! And in the final piece of news this week, I am thrilled to say we have had it confirmed that Michelle Yeoh is gonna be starring in Amazon Prime's follow-up series to Blade Runner 2049, Blade Runner 2099. And Michelle Yeoh is just one of these actors who has been like prevalent in a bunch of films throughout my life. I think the first movie I watched her in was like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon back when I was super young. And after seeing Everything Everywhere All at Once, I had this like moment of, oh my God, she has been in so many projects that I love. So seeing her continue on the Blade Runner franchise, which is a franchise I am absolutely okay seeing more entries from. But this has been your latest episode of Fantasy News. Like and subscribe if you have not already, and hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. Ad rates are kind of at an all-time low here on the platform, so we're putting out a bunch of bonus content there. I'm actually going to be putting out the first chapter of my next book, Better Dead, before too long on Patreon. I'm just nervous to do it, but it is coming. So you can go ahead and get all that for just $1 and have a good one, y'all. Peace.